What is up, guys? My name is Mark Sanrio. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the RC vlog. Oh, the main voyage was good. I had a little bit of a situation which goes on to the topic of this vlog, which is some advice that I got from one of my pro RC driver friends. And this is like a real pro, like he traveled and he was the factory guy and that's what he did for a living. He gave me some advice a long time ago that I never listened to, and I paid for it. Luckily, I paid for it in a club race, so it wasn't as bad. But without further ado, the advice that he gave me that I didn't listen to is he always told me at the end of the season, build a new car, and when you sell your old one, to sell it with the servos in it. Well, I guess me being Asian or something, I gotta get the most out of whatever I buy. I'm kind of cheap. Like, I have a lot of stuff, but I'm kind of cheap. Like, I want to be able to get the most out of what I buy. So I'll wear a servo down until it is like completely worn down. I'll wear a motor down until it's completely worn down. Like, I don't switch those things out. I don't trade them out if they're working, which I should. I should start cycling them out and then using them as backup, but I don't do it. Anyways, I have had this servo in my e-buggy. This servo has probably been through at least 3 e-buggies, and I never changed it out, and it just finally gave. I mean, it didn't, the gears, it was kind of having the jitters, which, if you guys know, Futaba and Protec servos and some of the other servos, they get the jitters, but the jitters, it's not bad. It just means that there's just a little bit of play in the gears, so it's trying to center the whole time. As soon as you try to stop the jitter from happening, it will go away, or you put the car down. I've ran servos with jitters for a long time before, when I used to run Futaba servos, and I didn't have a problem with them. Probably like a full season running jittered servos, so I didn't think that was a problem. But it seems like this servo, the motor just finally gave out. It just didn't want to hold. So I think if you saw it in my last video, you saw that it really, like, truly did not want to hold. I mean, it looked like it wasn't moving that much, but if you think about it in the grand scheme of things, a little movement of your servo goes a long way. So whenever I ran the qualifiers, the first, maybe 5 minutes of the qualifier went really well, and then the trim would go off, and then when your trim goes off, your line is kind of jacked, and I started making mistakes, and then I would hit something, and then it was really off, and it was just time. It's time to change the servo, and I waited too long. So the advice is, when you sell your car, your worn car, you need to rebuild a new car, keep the servos in it. You'll get a little bit more for it, and someone that is buying a used car that just wants to, start racing or just wants a good deal, those servos are perfectly fine for those people. But if you're racing big races all the time, like myself, you probably need to change that stuff out. I need to change out this motor too. People have been giving me a hard time about running the Gen 1 motor. I need to change that out too. But today, I'm changing out my steering servo. Another thing about steering servos and steering, a lot of guys overlook this. Their cars drive like crap. They don't know what it is. I would say maybe half the time it's steering related. It has something to do with the servo saver. The servo saver is either too loose. That's really what it is. Servo saver is too loose, so it's giving. So basically what happens is whenever you're driving and you crank it over really fast, one, it's not doing it instantly because the servo saver is giving. And then when it does give a little bit and it catches ground, it will actually jerk over, and then you'll either have a little bit of steering or too much steering, and it's just not consistent. So what most people tell you to do is they tell you to turn your servo saver all the way in. And the servo saver is the mechanism that keeps, like, if you hit something hard, it keeps from putting all that shock on your servo. So there's a spring, and then there's a nut at the bottom, and you compress that spring, and that's how tight your servo saver is. So most people, or what a lot of manuals will tell you to do, is to basically compress it all the way down. So basically close your servo saver all the way up, and then back it out half a turn or a turn or whatever you want your servo to be whatever you want your servo to be, the pressure you want your servo. I personally like to run my servo savers almost all the way down. When I say almost all the way down, I'll put it all the way down and then back it out maybe a quarter turn. In this case, Whenever I was having servo problems, I drilled it all the way in and it still didn't fix it. That's how I know it's a servo. But when I built this car, this is the first Tekno I built that came with this piece right here. This piece is actually a servo saver like bypass. There's no spring here. It's just a solid post. I've never ran this before. I saw this when it came in the kit. I don't even think it's in the manual. It just came with the servo saver. So I actually contacted my team manager at Tyler Hooks and I asked him about it, and he said that's exactly what this is for, is to bypass your servo saver. So not only am I going to change my servo out, I am going to excuse me, I'm going to replace my servo saver with this piece, so I'm not going to have any servo saver. It's a little risky because if I hit something, it could break my servo, but I think that my servos are strong enough where if something does give, it's probably going to be plastic, one of the plastic pieces. I've never done it before. No risk and no biscuit. I have ran a servo saver all the way down, so this shouldn't be much different. But in regards to what servo I'm going to run, so I have a bunch of servos that I've been meaning to put in my car, and I just never did, again because I try to get the most I can out of my stuff. So this is my servo box. So basically all my servos are in here. These are all brand new servos that I haven't even put in. These are awesome. These are the ProTech 170 SBL. These are the brushless black label. I plan on putting these. These are brand new. Putting these in my new nitro buggy whenever I get my new nitro buggy. So I'm not going to use these. I got a whole bunch of servos in here. I'm not going to do a servo video. I'll do a servo video, but not this time. I'm just going to find the servo I need, which I am going to replace it with a 150T. I knew I had one of these. When it comes to ProTech, if you're a racer, I know the speed, all this, I mean, even the torque servos are fast. I know a lot of people want a lot of speed, but what I've learned and what I've actually been advised is that torque servos, the T servos, are actually a little bit more robust, a little more durable. So if you're going to go ProTech, get whatever series you want, but get the T's, don't get the S's, and this is specifically for a scale off-road. So the servo that I'm putting in there is the 150T. I believe this is a discontinued servo. I think they have a 155T now. I almost bought one the other day when I was at Indy, and I was like, you know, I'll just replace that, but I knew I had this servo, so instead of buying a brand new servo and blowing it up with my new non-servo saver piece, I'm going to use this one that I've had brand new and I've never used. I'm going to use this one to see how it works. But this servo at 7.4 volts, which I run my BEC at 7.4 volts, it is 0.08 60 degrees, 0.08 seconds at 60 degrees, I believe. That's how you pronounce, that's how you say that. But it's 426 ounces of torque. On an e-buggy, you can, obviously the more the better, but you can get away with 250 ounces of torque on an e-buggy. Some people might not agree with that, but we used to run them back in the day with anything over 200 ounces and had no problems. But let me get to work. I need to get this, I meant to do this yesterday and I end up waiting late. I'm like, all right, I'll do it after I put the kids to sleep or whatever. And then I end up getting tired and not doing it. I'm racing tomorrow, so I should be able to switch this servo out pretty quick and switch out the servo saver out really quick. And I'll show you guys what it looks like. So let me get to work. Well, there you have it. I got the servo saver out. This is what your servo saver looks like. Basically, it's the steering post with the spring, so I had it tightened all the way down. I thought about leaving it in there with the new servo. I'll probably see a lot of improvement anyways, but I went ahead and switched it out. But matches now. It's all black. Looks good. So that should solve my little problem that I had at the last time I was out racing in qualifiers. So we'll see how that works out. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you liked this video. If you did, smash that like button, turn on the notification bell, and you guys will see me next time. Later, guys.